So welcome everyone, we're very excited. Our plan for today is to showcase a video that I directed back when I was in college many years ago. And the idea behind the video, My Mom Has a Bookbag, was simply because I remember when my daughter Armando and Eileen, we would get ready to go to school and we will all have book bags as we see in the picture. And so we know that being a parent, at least in my shoes, and a college student was definitely not an easy journey. And so I asked my friends, Tamar and Maritza, who were also students at LaGuardia, to join me on this video, this journey, to share the reality of what it's like to be a student parent at LaGuardia Community College. And so I want to I hope that the video, whether you're a parent or not, will inspire you, because I do believe that parents are superheroes in many ways, and the first folks that see that is your children, the children. But even those who don't have children, they might be caregivers, or they might have siblings, or many other roles that have a nurturing component to it. It's not easy, but we know that attaining a degree, a college degree, opens many doors for many of us. And so I'm really excited to show our video. Let's get started. Wake up. Come on. Wake up.
My name is Armando and I'm 8 years old.
My name is Eileen and I'm 7 years old. My mom has a book bag and it's very heavy. She goes to college or something like that.
My mom studies graphic designing and she's a peer mentor in LaGuardia College. She comes late from school, like around 10 or 12, 11 o'clock.
She works very hard for us to give us food and so we could have a better life. And we will have a better house one day.
What time are you going to do your homework?
This is her final year, and she's been working in college since I was 3 years old.
Oh yeah, I've been saving a lot of money for college. I tried to not use all of it. I just used $1 for my brother to buy something for him. I wish I went to college one day.
You know you got a dream. Messiah, I'm 8 years old. She work and she go to school in John Jay. She go to LaGuardia to help students so students can get smarter in college.
And then I'll give everyone my email that I gave out to everyone last week. You know, if you you guys to contact me or anything. And I'll give you guys my office number.
Like when you like just started college, like they ask you questions and you don't know, it's like hard for you to answer because maybe the teacher give you hard questions and you don't answer. When she graduate out of college, maybe like she will get a better job because she's a smart mother and she wanna do a better job for the other people.
And you know what to do, okay? I'm gonna make dinner and I have a lot of homework, so try to do your homework so we can go to sleep early.
Okay, Mom. Hello, Mom. My name is Alexander Centeno and I'm 9 years old. My mom is a student at LaGuardia Community College and she studies criminal justice and works as a student mentor. Criminal justice is about learning what officers do or what criminals would act like and what they would react to specific things. I think college is good for people because if you go to college you can get a good job and you can get degrees. You can find many things in the world you can do. I think my mom is a very good person and that she's a hard worker. She has many things to take care of. She goes to LaGuardia and she works at a diner. I feel happy for my mom because I know she deserves graduating because she's a good student in school and that she works really hard to go to the next college. I would like to thank my mom and repay her by helping her out and when she needs help.
Thank you. I was just gonna say, when I was working on this video, I had to hold my tears many times because it's really beautiful the way how the students were able to tell the story of their parents and how they see their mothers being in college. One of the other reasons why I did this video, because a lot of stories I heard around me were that a lot of student parents were they felt guilty for being in college because of course it's a lot of time that is dedicated to the studies. And so my son said in the video, my mom comes at 10 o'clock, p.m. When I heard that, I had to take a moment doing the interview. I was like, let me go away, and I had to cry. I was like, this is really hard for me. But what I really wanted to share was that although it was a sacrifice, it's a sacrifice that will allow us as student parents to keep moving forward in our goals. So thank you. Big shout out to Maritza and Tamar for allowing me to enter their lives in a very intimate way and hearing from their children who Alexander's here from the video, and Armando and Eileen, my children, are here too. So as you see now, they're not so little. They're in high school now. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna ask our guests, Tamar and Maritza, to join us in the panel, where we're gonna have a little discussion about where are they now. This video was created back in 2017, so it's been quite a few years, and a lot has happened since then. Thank you. Have a seat. And then Samantha will join us tomorrow with the panel.
And I think you're probably wondering, well, a lot's changed since 2017, clearly, right? What might that be? So we're really lucky to have the opportunity to hear from folks in the video. And to facilitate the conversation, we're joined by Samantha Perez. So Samantha, too, is a LaGuardia alum, and I believe you're currently at CUNY School of Professional Studies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also working with our Division of Adult and Continuing Education. So we're super happy to have you, Samantha.
Thank you.
To lead this conversation, and we hope that it brings everyone up to date, right? Where things have been in the past 7 years.
Thank you. I feel honored to be here with my fellow SSM team and graduates, and I'm looking forward to hearing everything you guys have to say. So I want to start off with the introductions for each one of you, and let's talk about what you are currently doing for work and what degrees you were able to attain since you graduated from LaGuardia. Yeah, let's go down the line. Since it's Marissa.
Hi everyone, my name is Maritza. I am currently a employer partnership program coordinator at Futures and Options. Futures and Options is a nonprofit that provides internship opportunities and career readiness opportunities for New York City high school students. We primarily focus on students of color and students from underrepresented schools. After LaGuardia, I went on to John Jay to get my bachelor's in law and society.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamar. So I'm a licensed master social worker. I currently work in Kings County Hospital, and at night I do psychotherapy. I'm a therapist. So I got my bachelor's degree at John Jay in forensic psychology, and then I got my graduate degree in York College.
And Stephanie?
Yes.
Hello everyone again. I work here at LaGuardia as a student success mentor program coordinator. I studied business at LaGuardia, got an associate's here. Soon after I went to Baruch College and studied business communication and graphic design. And currently I am at the Grad Center for my digital humanities, Masters of Digital Humanities. So that's the journey.
We did have a slight introduction to some of the kids here, but do you guys want to share the names of your kids, the ages, and the grades that they were in the video? Because we know some of them are in high school now, but we didn't get all of them, right? Maritza?
Yeah, my son's name is Alexander. He's currently a senior in high school, which is right around the corner. Here, high school for applied communications.
Nice.
And I think in that video, maybe he was in 4th or 5th grade. I can't remember.
So my son is Messiah. He's not here. Obviously, he's a teenager, so he didn't want to come. He is a junior in high school. He's also taking college classes right now in City Tech because his high school partners with City Tech. And I think in that video, if he was in the 5th grade, then Messiah was like 1 year younger, so he was like in the 4th grade. Yeah.
Armando and Eileen. Armando he just turned 16, and my daughter's gonna turn 15 very soon. In the video, they were about that age, 4th, 5th grade?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, 2nd grade? Oh, 2nd and 3rd? Second and third, yes.
Time flies.
Time does fly.
So you guys had a bond that just went beyond the parenthood because you guys had kids who were in a similar age.
Yeah.
That's great. So I'm going to ask all, what was the most difficult challenge you faced while parenting, and being a LaGuardia student? Should I mix it up? I'll start with Tamar.
I was gonna say what you said, like feeling guilty, right? Like, as you can see in the video, he literally like going to the park. He didn't care that I had to do homework. It was like, kids really don't care. It's like, it's all about them at the time. So feeling guilty about not spending enough time like on homework, because I have a paper due, but he has to go to school. So no one's calling to see if I did my paper, but someone's gonna call to see why he didn't do his homework. So I guess just trying to balance, like Stephanie said, doing this for a greater purpose. It's okay, eventually it'll be over, eventually it'll be done, and then you'll be able to spend more time with your kids. I think that was like one of the biggest challenges.
I'll add on to that. Actually, when I took the first year seminar at LaGuardia, and that was with the catalog, when we still didn't have the SSM program, I always knew that I either wanted to become or do something in law enforcement or law. And so I did speak to the professor of the first year seminar, and I explained to them, I don't have a lot of time in my hands. I have a kid, I work full time, I come to school part-time in the nighttime. I don't think I can do law or anything in law enforcement, and I feel bad about the same thing, like not having enough time, like how am I gonna make this work? And she wrote on my paper, you have to decide what you wanna do, and you have to make the best out of the little time that you have with them. And so that really stood with me because I felt like I have no other option. For me, working in a diner the rest of my life is not an option. I have to provide more and I have to provide better for my son. So that's when I knew, all right, well, I'm gonna make it happen, and the little time that we do have to spend is gonna be something memorable for us. And so I just try to make, holidays or summers or evenings something that we can do together, and that it would stay like a core memory.
Stephanie, so beautiful.
I mean, I think time management is really big. Navigating schoolwork, but then also navigating how to spend the time with kids. As you mentioned, I would try to go to museums or Governor's Island or some different activities, especially around the fall, summer, when they were out of school. But I do believe that just making sure that you're also focusing on yourself as a parent, because I think that a lot of times we forget as a parent, like to just take a moment to just breathe and care for ourselves. So finding those moments of just breathing was really important for me.
All three of your answers resonate with me. Because I do go through the same issues, and you can't pour from an empty cup. So it's really important to focus on everything that you guys said. So I do appreciate you guys hitting all those points. So Maritza, excuse me, I'm sorry guys. I want to ask, how did it make you feel to hear your children's perspective from the video about you as a college student?
I actually was very surprised. I felt like he was paying attention while I was thinking of him paying attention. Like he knew very well what I was doing in college, what I was studying. He knew a little bit of like a glimpse of criminal justice and what it is. He knew well enough what the whole name of LaGuardia was. So I was surprised that he knew that much and he paid that much attention, which made me realize that I shared information with him. Like, oh, I'm doing this type of homework, or we're going to LaGuardia. I did bring him to school maybe a couple of times. So it was just an eye-opener for me to see that he was paying so much attention to what I was already doing, which sort of was a signal for me, like, all right, we're doing good, and he's taking that in as well.
So I'm going to ask all of you, what strategies helped you be successful in your classes as a student parent? I want to start with this, Stephanie, on this one.
Oh wow. Most importantly is to find your network in school, in your family, in your friends. Like finding your network. We can't do this alone. There's no way it's gonna happen. Like it's really hard. And I understand that sometimes folks might not have families that live here in the city, or they're away. But even just finding your network at the college. So there's a program called here at LaGuardia called Crear Futuros, and I had a mentee who was a student parent as well, and I was going through one of the most challenging times in my academic career, especially like my last semester. Third to last semester of LaGuardia, and I had to make a really hard decision whether I stay in college or I had to do, get a full-time job. And I remember Elvia, her name is Elvia. She said, she's like, well, you could sacrifice now, get a part-time job, and go to school full-time, and really focus on the goal. And so for me, having a peer mentor, especially someone that I understood that, who understood what I was going through, was really important. Because one thing we must remember is that sometimes when we're in a situation where you're in a survival mode, which was pretty much my whole college experience, sometimes we, especially when we come through different challenges, we're not looking at the problem as logical as possible, because we're just trying to find a temporary solution for it. But when you have someone, a third party, tell you, hey, like, these are your options, let's look at this more clearly, and then you start to think about, oh, maybe I don't have to drop out of college, maybe I could do these different life changes that will ultimately help and support me in my goals. So definitely having that support system who is going to support you. And not having naysayers. There will be so many naysayers out there, like, oh no, you can't do it, you should drop out, or you should focus only on your kids. Yes, kids are priority, but then at the same time, how are we making decisions that are gonna support the overall goal of our families?
So I would definitely say time management. Like I said earlier, like managing the time to do papers and spend time with your child, definitely a struggle. But being an SSM helped me because I had to like formulate, planning for students. So it's like, if I can do this for everybody else, I should be able to do this for myself. I feel like Stephanie said, like having a support system. I mean, we found support in each other. Like eventually just talking about our kids, and then I remember like me and Melissa talking about schools and our struggles with our students' our kids' teachers. So definitely finding like the time and taking the time to like focus on the things you have to do. Like you have a syllabus, get a calendar, write everything down. I mean, it may seem like a lot, but trust me, like it helps to kind of just see everything at one time. And then like spacing out time for your kids, spacing out time to do family things, spacing out time for yourself. Because we do think about ourselves last. And if we can't be good for ourselves, you already know that we can't be good for our families, for our kids, and your kids see everything, like Marissa said, like they notice everything. They notice the stress. They notice like when you're not getting things done. So definitely taking the time to figure things out, take a deep breath. That'll.
I love how you guys are tying in like all of your activities and transferable skills and just bringing in and just growing from that. I want to hear what you, Maritza, how you were able to.
Yeah, I would say don't do more than what you can. A lot of people don't know this, but it took me 10 years to graduate from LaGuardia and John Jay all together. And that's because I was just taking, first of all, I was paying out of pocket, so I could just afford to take one class per semester. And then I was working full time, 8 to 3, 8 to 4 as a waitress, so I could only come to school in the evening. There wasn't any more time that I can extract from the day to take more classes, so I had to work with what I had. And I would say that sometimes that could be frustrating, but if you're juggling, having kids and personal life, do what you can. I think sometimes people delay, or not delay, but they're like, I won't do this project because by the time that I do it, I'm gonna be this old. But you're still gonna be that old, regardless. If life allows you, you're still gonna make it till you're 30, 40, 50. So time really isn't a battle. So it took me 10 years. I was like, wow, like 10 years to finish my bachelor's, like that's a lot of time. But eventually I'm here and I have a better job right now, I have a better lifestyle. And if I would have had that negative mentality, I wouldn't be here today. So I would say don't chew more than what you can. Go step by step and take care of your health as well in the journey.
I think that's really important. I think it's important to just remember that you're supposed to take care of your options, but don't give up on yourself also. And I think that's pretty much what you were saying, so I appreciate that. So, Stephanie, did you participate in any extracurricular activities while you were in college?
I did, and I think that's what allowed me to grow in many ways. I do believe that making sure that you have enough time to do your schoolwork and classes, but then also part of it is also being involved on campus, simply because you never know when you're attending these co-curricular activities, you might meet someone who might provide you with some information, a resource. They might show you something that you didn't know that might support you in your own growth. And for my first year at LaGuardia, I was more of a go to school, and I mean, that's it. And that wasn't really helpful. It wasn't until when I took my internship class, when we started speaking about networking and branding yourself, I was like, I'm not really doing that. And so I started to become involved on campus. I joined the Student Success Mentor program. I attended conferences. And I even went to Puerto Rico twice for free because I was able to do some internships with the New York City Hispanic Chamber of Commerce, which I learned about at LaGuardia Community College. So, making sure that you are involved, for me, to be involved on campus was really important, and that's what has allowed me to expand my network.
I was going to ask you, how did it help you also, but I think you answered that already. I think you already got ahead of me asking you the questions. So Timar, how did working on campus contribute to your college experience?
Networking, definitely. Working on campus definitely helped networking and also getting to class. Being a college assistant helped me be at work and then leave, go to class, come back to work out some type of schedule with my supervisor or my manager at the time. So it was definitely beneficial because they understood. They know you're in college. They understand that you have a schedule that you're trying to maintain. So it was definitely helpful and took out a lot of travel time, especially all the way over here at LaGuardia, where we're away from a lot of trains, where you have to walk to everything. So that, along with networking and meeting other people, and I got my first job in financial aid by working in the gym first. And then I've seen the director of financial aid, and I was like, "Are you hiring?" And she was like, "You want a job?" And I was like, "Yes." And I ended up getting that job that way. And just, being around the campus, definitely reading your emails. I know students don't like looking at their emails. Reading your emails, seeing who's hiring. That's how I knew that SSMs were hiring. Those things definitely helped being here.
Can I add to that?
Sure.
Because I was a waitress before I came to the SSM program, I was a waitress for 6 years. So my only daily interaction was, "Hi, how are you? What can I get you? What can I get you today?" And the only thing I would write throughout the day was like, bacon, egg, and cheese, home fries. So I wasn't really practicing the communications and written skills that I had to practice. And so when I became an SSM, that was like the gold mine for me, because I became introduced to Outlook, writing emails, speaking to professors, Excel, like all this office work culture that I didn't have access to. So that really helped me expand my resume. After adding the SSM, I worked at the portfolio office. After that, I got in a fellowship at John Jay. So the SSM program and working at LaGuardia was what really helped me build my resume and leave, the food industry. And then on top of that, I just love getting out of the SSM office and walking maybe a couple of doors down and going to my class. And that was such a relief, not having to take the train or rush, just going straight into the class was really nice.
I want to add in that, just to what you said, one of the greatest things I think with being part of the SSM program was when you're doing your classes also and you're coming in and you see your fellow peers there in the studio lab. You're there to help LaGuardia students, but you're also there with your support team, and you guys are just like, it's a full circle of support. So I just wanted to add into that because you just reminded me of that, so thank you. Okay, so Marissa, we're going back to you. You did mention, having that financial support doing the waitressing. So How did you handle the financial aspect of your education? I know you said you had to take one class at a time, but did you apply to any scholarships or any specific programs to support your education?
Yeah. So when I became a SSM, I learned about the scholarships available. I forgot the name of the office. I don't really remember.
LaGuardia Foundation?
LaGuardia Foundation, yeah. They have a scholarship called Laura's Helping Hand, I believe. And that scholarship helped me finish my last semester at LaGuardia tuition free, so I didn't have to pay anything, which was a lifesaver. And then after that, talking to a couple of SSMs, I learned about the Jaime Lucero Mexican Scholarship, which covered my 2 years at John Jay for free. So I didn't have to worry about my my bachelor's at John Jay, that was fully paid. I also got a couple more scholarships because I was undocumented for my entire time at LaGuardia. So you could only qualify for very little scholarships. And so, you know, networking helped me figure out what other scholarships were there for undocumented students. And at John Jay, the fellowship that I became a part of also gave me like $1,000 grant like every session, every semester. So that was also just helping me survive with whatever salary I was making at the SSM program. So yeah, definitely a lot of scholarships. I will say there's scholarships for undocumented people, for first generation. I'm sure there's scholarships for working moms. You just really have to do the research and talk to people.
I'm hearing a lot of great key points from all of you, but one of the biggest things that stands out for me that made you guys very successful in everything you do was the networking. So I think that's something to keep in mind for the parents in the room. Stephanie, what resources or support systems did you find most valuable as a student parent navigating college life?
Oh wow, they're actually here. So when I was a student here at LaGuardia, I was on public assistance, and part of being, when you are in public assistance, you either have to work or you have to go to school. And so because I was in public assistance and wanted to be a full-time student here, I applied to, I was a part of CUNY Edge before it was called Single Stop, and they provided a lot of support. I remember doing workshops with them. I believe they provided a stipend. I don't know if they do still. We could learn more later. But overall, I remember having that support system and keeping me accountable, like making sure that I was doing well in my classes. So CUNY Edge was definitely one program that I took advantage of. Again, I mentioned before, Crea Futuros, having a peer mentor who supported me in my journey here at LaGuardia. The LaGuardia Foundation, I was granted a scholarship which really supported my studies here, especially one semester I had to pay off pocket for a philosophy class that I took and I didn't know was part of my, my curriculum, so I had to pay for it. So the scholarship was able to pay for that class. And also the ePortfolio Scholars, they also provided a stipend for showcasing your ePortfolio. So there are many other resources that I took advantage of, but in general, it's just really, looking at those emails, reading the emails, and actually taking advantage, because there's so many resources here at LaGuardia that will support you in many of the struggles or challenges that you might have. There's a food pantry, for example, for students who have food insecurity and so forth. So making sure that you take advantage, because at the end of the day, when on the bill it says student activity fees. So nothing is free. You're actually paying for these services. So making sure that you're actually taking advantage of everything that we have here at LaGuardia.
Thank you, Stephanie. Timar, how did you manage your time effectively between parenting responsibilities and academic commitments?
I mean, we did touch on this earlier. I would say just asking for help. Like, a lot of times as a parent, you don't want to ask for help. You just want to do everything yourself. I think asking, like, a family member, a friend, someone for help. I mean, it's not like you're going to party. You're going to, study and do your work. And obviously sometimes you can't ask for help, so I would say like utilizing, you know, things around you. Like you see, like I used to go to the park with my son and I would try to do like writing or reading while he played. Which is not always easy because there's so many things going on around you, and obviously sometimes he wants attention. You can't guarantee other kids are gonna play with him in the park, you know. So I would say definitely trying your best to ask for help and trying your best to find ways to incorporate different things for your children, to take time for yourself. So going to the park, bringing your books with you. Now it's getting a little bit cold, but like going to the library, letting your kids sit down and read books while you're sitting down and reading, you know, doing things like that definitely helped. Yeah.
I think I think one of the things that you mentioned about being able to ask for help is, as a parent, I think I just want to highlight a lot of times that as a parent, we're so used to being a strong foundation that we forget that we can ask for help.
Right.
And I want to highlight a lot about what Stephanie said. You're going to have people who are going to say no, or you're going to have people who are going to disagree with you, but there are going to be people who do agree with you and who will be your support system. So it's important to find those people. And you're not going to do that unless you ask for help. So I just wanted to highlight that. Thank you. I'm going to ask for all of you, okay, what advice would you give to other student parents who are considering or currently pursuing a college education? I want to start with Maritza.
My advice goes back to not taking more than what you can manage, and only because I was sharing with Tamar when we were talking a few minutes ago. I actually ended up in the ER in 2019. I was going to school full time. I had a part-time internship at ePortfolio. Then I had my part-time initiative at John Jay. And because of my scholarship, I had to also volunteer. You know, you have to be in good standing. So I was doing a lot. And one day out of nowhere, I just woke up, and it was actually a panic attack, but I really felt like I was gonna die. And it took me about 2 years to actually fix my nervous system back to its normal stage. But during those 2 years, I really struggled. My health was it was at its worst, and I know it was because of the amount of things that I added to my daily schedule. So I would say, don't take more than what you can. I know sometimes we do want to rush. As Tamar said, you know, it's okay to ask for help. I think that's one of the things that I really didn't do much. I didn't really ask for a lot of help. But would it have hurt me if I would have finished a couple of years later than what I did? My bachelor's? No. You know, I would still have completed my education. I had planned to go to law school after John Jay, but because I was really sick and the stress wasn't going to do any good to me, I had to give up law school. And so I would say, take care of your health, ask for help whenever you can, practice meditation, know how to read your body and understand when your body is tired, because I definitely had the signs, like heavy shoulders, headaches, heavy arms. I was like, well, I'm tired, you know? And so thankfully I was very lucky that it was just sort of like a signal to my body that I had to take it slow, because I know there's a lot of people out there who don't pause, and then, you know, unfortunately they pass away. So I would just say, make sure to take care of your health, read the signals, and take your time if you have to.
Thank you, Maritza. I know that must have been very hard, taking care of all that stuff for yourself. I'm glad you're okay.
I would definitely say give yourself grace. Like, it's something that us parents do not do. And then along with feeling guilty, we just feel like, oh, I have to do this because, you know, I put myself here where I have children and I'm going to school and I didn't finish it before I had kids. You know, that was definitely a thought that definitely reoccurred in my mind. Like, if I had just waited and went to school, then I probably wouldn't be here. And I had to take a step back and definitely, like, take in the small wins. Enjoy the small wins. I mean, I went right out of LaGuardia right to John Jay, and I just felt like I didn't want to stop. I just wanted to keep going. I wanted to just finish. And like Marissa said, it doesn't mean I wouldn't have gotten to where I am now. So definitely give yourself grace. Understand that you can't win everything, and it's okay. You may lose some, but eventually you'll get to your goal once you keep going. So it's definitely something to take with you.
I think for me is going back to finding your community, finding the people that are here to advocate for you, finding those folks who will just give you 5 minutes just to listen to you, just for whatever it is that when you need to vent. Because it's not easy, as you see, it's not easy being a college student, but then when you add the college component to it, it's really difficult. And I know I had my own struggles with mental health at the time when I was a student here at LaGuardia and then Baruch College, and it's not easy. And so, being aware of what's around you, thinking about the wellness center, peer mentorship programs, whatever it is that you need, especially here at LaGuardia, like finding those resources and taking advantage of it. You're not like, I hear this multiple times, and I'm sure you've all heard it too. You're as an SSM, a lot of students who are about to graduate, they say, I wish LaGuardia was a four-year college, because here we have a community where we are always supported. Once we're at four-year college, it's a whole different story. You kind of don't have that hand-holding, but here at LaGuardia, at least use the resources or use the skills that eventually, if you decide to go to a four-year college, you could also use them there. So just gaining all the skills, network, resources at LaGuardia, take advantage, but most importantly, just having a very strong community around you.
Thank you. So I am at the end of the questions I wanted to ask, but I want to say I do appreciate hearing your stories, and I wanted to add something just very briefly. So I'm a student parent as well, but when I'm hearing your story, and it hit me because in 2019 I also had a bad health scare, and I had to have emergency surgery. I couldn't walk for 6 months. I came back to the SSM program. That's where I met Stephanie, and I was like, what am I doing here? Why am I going back to school? This is ridiculous. I need to stop. This is ridiculous. But it was actually hearing a Stephanie story that made me like calm down and relax, because I found out she was also a mother, and she just hit so many points that made me feel calm and made me feel like I was part of somewhere. It didn't matter what my age was, it didn't matter that I had children. And at that moment, just having that community. So yeah, LaGuardia definitely did that for me. And I do agree, I wish it was a four-year school also. But I just want to thank you ladies for sharing your story with us and being here today. And thank you everyone who's also here to hear their stories.
Do we have time for Q&A?
Do we have any questions? No, there was a lot that was shared. I don't know if there's something that stood out to folks or something that you want to learn more about. I know time management came up a lot. That was kind of a common theme. Making those sacrifices, having to make tough decisions. Was there any questions that anyone had for any of our panelists about their experience as a student parent?
Yes, please.
There's got to be one something.
I know, right? Brave soul. It's more like a comment. I want to thank the panelists for sure. I came into school for like after 20 years of not being in school and thinking that I was not going to be able to do this. I have older children from 24 to 12, and that guilt was killing me because I go to work full time and then I do LaGuardia full time. And so the fact that this workshop is available to parents or non-parents or whatever, to me is a blessing, and I'm very grateful that this is being offered. So whoever concocted this is a genius. And everything that was said, right? Like your son you're thinking he wasn't paying attention. I think my 12-year-old wants nothing to do with me, but I'm sure that, you know, they do pay attention. I did have a question about the Crear Futuro. I don't know if maybe I can speak to you later, or you can speak a little bit more today about like what it consists of, and that's it. But thank you so much for having this, because I feel like I'm not alone, you know, and that makes a huge difference. So thank you, ladies.
Absolutely. I could talk to you more, but very briefly, I could share with you the information of Crear Futuros. And basically, you're assigned a peer mentor, one-on-one. At least in my time there, they meet with you on a weekly basis, speak to them, whatever it is that you need help with. I remember literally my mentor, she was like, so how's your classes going? Accounting, I need help. Have you gone tutoring? No. Next day I see her. How's accounting? Have you gone to tutoring? No. Okay, let's go right now. And sometimes you need folks like that to actually like push you to do something, you know? So we could talk more about it after this. Very beautiful program.
Any other questions? Don't be shy, y'all.
Is everyone here a parent? I'm curious, or just some people? Oh, you're a parent. Oh, how old is your baby? How old is your child?
My oldest is 14 and 8 and 9.
14, 8, and 9. And you're at LaGuardia?
No, I'm transferred to Bruce. So I graduated from LaGuardia and so I transferred to Bruce.
Cool. And what year are you in Birmingham right now?
This is my first semester.
It's different than LaGuardia.
Yes. I agree with her with the how LaGuardia always is, like how LaGuardia is with the community is.
It's cold. It's the younger crew,
It's
too. I know
that,
this.
and also, I ain't gonna say the professors don't care because this is my first semester here, so I really don't know too much right now. But from what I see, professors is more like they're independent or they just whatever.
Yeah.
So it's not, it's different.
It's very different.
Yeah, the culture in four-year schools is definitely different than LaGuardia.
Yeah. Very different. So that's why I mentioned, like, make sure everything that you learn here at LaGuardia, when you go to four-year college, you could easily apply it. Like you're able to better navigate the system. Yeah.
I think the networks you're making here also does help with that,
absolutely.
especially in your major, because people you're in your major with here may be going to the same school you're going to afterwards, so you'll still be able to continue that network and that support system there. So that's important also.
Is there any other first semester students here?
This is my first semester. I feel that.
Wow.
First semester at LaGuardia. I just want to say, have y'all seen that TikTok? It's a student going up the staircase with the books, and then there is a graduate next to him, but it's the same student, and now a graduate. I just feel like when I saw that TikTok for the first time, I was like, oh, tear, but time goes by really fast. So even though like you're definitely gonna find that struggle in the next couple of years, you ever look and you hear. But when it gets tough, just remember like there's a bigger picture at the end. Like it might seem like it's really far, but once you get there, you're gonna be like, woof, and then you're gonna see your kids, and they're like, okay, because everything that you learn, you're gonna pass it on to your kid. Like Tamar said that her child is taking college courses. My son took a college course last year. He's taking a couple of AP courses. He did an internship in the summer. Might do another internship this fall. So everything you learned, everything that you're doing, you're gonna pass it on to your child. I know as a first-gen college, I struggled just to navigate college. How do I sign up for classes? How do I even look for scholarships? How do I manage my schedule? I didn't know any of that. But now both of you know it, and when it's time for your kids to go into college, it's gonna be such a breeze for them. So definitely.
I don't want to put the kids on the spot, but do you have any comments in regards to where you are now and where you see your moms? You don't have to say anything, but.
You guys are not as talkative as you used to be.
I know, right? Remember used to talk old?
Yeah, I know Alexander said, I don't want to be part of the podcast.
All right.
The good thing about that is you guys see, like, we're just the same as you, right? Like we have kids just like you, we're the same as you. Our kids don't want to talk. I'm sure your kids don't want to talk, right? So like Maritza said, just you'll get there. Like try not to push yourself. I remember my last semester here, I took 7 classes.
Oh my God.
And I worked both jobs. And it was crazy. I don't know how I did it, but I just said like I want to get out. Like I'm done. Like Marissa, I took a very long time to finish. I think I failed Math 95 7 times, 8 times. Like I just withdrew, then I stopped going, then I didn't care, then I got a WU. Let's not talk about it. But eventually, as you guys see, like you get there. So just take your time. Don't be like me. Taking 7 classes, it's a lot. It's a lot. But it was just kind of the force, the push to get it done. You can do that. Just give yourself grace.
Thank you so much to the panel. Thank you so much.